Oscar BEVIS for IFL TV in association with MTK Global. I'm here in Brentwood today at the Matchroom Gym, joined by Mr. John Ryder. How are you, sir?
Good, mate. Good to see you.
And you too.
Not causing trouble today, now?
Nah, I'm going to lay off the. I'm going to lay off the hard questions. I'm just going to stick to the easy stuff.
Last time, didn't you?
I did. Yeah. I'm just going to stick to the easy stuff this time. So I'm going to ask you how your Christmas was, how your New Year is, and I'm not going to ask you anything about Liverpool,
no,
or Canelo, or Billy Joe, or Callum Smith,
okay,
or anyone.
All right.
On a serious note, how was your Christmas? How was your sort of end to the year? Because although you lost, and there's no good time to lose, especially a world title fight, if you are going to lose, for it to come then, and then to have your time off, and have Christmas, spend it with your family, etc. Like I said, there's no good time to lose, but it gave you a lot of time to think, I imagine.
Yeah, no, it was nice. It was nice to spend some quality time with the family. I've got a newborn son, so it was good to get to know him a bit better and get to know my family again, and they're quite nice people, so it's quite handy. So yeah, no, just nice, bit of downtime. Yeah, nice rest, nice let the body heal up a bit, and I'm raring to go now. 2020 is going to be a good year.
Did you say your newborn is a boy?
A little boy, yeah.
When the gloves getting laced up?
I don't know, hopefully
the boots
are getting laced up.
Oh yeah?
I'd like him to be a footballer, yeah.
Play for Arsenal?
Hopefully.
You're Arsenal boy, aren't you?
I'm Arsenal boy, yeah, so hopefully he plays for Arsenal. And yeah.
Because I know a lot of boxers say that they don't want their sons to sort of do boxing, or they know what it takes, the sort of toll it takes them, and they don't want their kids to box. Would you be one of them if your son said, look Dad, I want to follow your footsteps, I want to box?
Well, at the moment he's quite a chunk, so he'd probably be an heavyweight, so it's an hard sport, especially at heavyweight, so yeah, we'll see how he goes. He might be a nice beefy centre forward for Arsenal, hopefully, and he'll make loads of money doing that.
You could do with him up top now, to be fair.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes, obviously, good Christmas, time to think. I do want to go back to Liverpool though.
Did you like it that much, did you?
Not my
you want to go
place.
back there talking about it?
Yeah.
Not just
so I'll stick to London and Essex, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was an emotional night in many ways, because I went straight into your dressing room.
Yep.
I sort of wanted to give you space, and then you said to me, look, come in, it's fine. I sort of captured you, I captured a lot of what had gone on, sort of making the most of my behind the scenes access, should I say. Captured a lot of what was going on. It showed perhaps a different side to boxing that I believe we hadn't seen too much of on the channel before. What was the rest of the night like, and sort of once obviously everyone had gone and it was just time to sit there and think, you and Tony, what was the rest of that night like?
Just like it's a follow on really, just people come back to the hotel just reflecting on the fight and talking about it, and just what was the official seeing. Like, you can't blame Callum for the fight, like he come, he fought, and we still believe we won, but the judges, we feel like the judges watching is completely something different, and yeah, I mean, it's no one's fault, is it? It's the way the judges have seen it, and how has no one else seen it that way? Like, I still get stopped on the street now with people saying like, you should be a world champion, you won that fight, and it's nice, it's heartwarming, but it's annoying at the time, because you think, well, why ain't I? Why have these three judges seen it so differently?
I was going to say, of course, your stock has risen, and now if you see someone put on Twitter, for example, who should Callum Smith fight next, people will say John Ryder. And that must be nice, but like you said, that isn't a world title. People mentioning your name can't replace a world title. So, yeah, just sort of tough to take.
It's nice that my name's still on everyone's tongues and being mentioned with the big fights like the Canelo, the Billy Joe, the Callum Smith. And listen, these are the fights I believe I deserve. I've had a close fight, which I think I won against Callum Smith. A very close fight with Billy Joe that could have gone either way. I mean, I get on well with him, but these are the fights that are there for me in Britain, and these are the fights I want. I'd love to fight Canelo, but listen, I'm not the front runner for that, and who knows what he's going to do. Everyone's waiting for him to make a decision, but ultimately no one knows, so we're all waiting around, and it's all well saying if Billy Joe fights him then I'll get the rematch, but Callum's already said he wants to fight in America. There's no sense in me and him fighting in America against each other for the rematch, so it's looking at other options now.
I want to come on to the sort of diamond that's forming in a minute between Canelo, Billy Joe and Callum. But did you speak to Callum after the fight in Liverpool?
Only briefly in the ring.
Yeah. So sort of when you left the ring, that was it? You haven't?
That's it, yeah. No further communication. But it's a fight in the day, isn't it? We weren't mates before, we're not mates after. We obviously shared a bond having a fight, but we've got a lot of respect for Callum and his family. Do you know what I mean? The dad and the brothers were nothing but respectful after, so credit where credit's due.
I've got to ask you about Joe Gallagher's comments, ones he made to me. Quite dismissive originally of the rematch. I think he said that he was upset that perhaps there was such a negative feel around the post-match press conference when Callum Smith had defended his Ring magazine in the UK, which hadn't been done in God knows how many years. Yeah, just your thoughts on sort of him being perhaps so dismissive at the time, and has there been any talk since, perhaps between him and Tony? Or?
I think Tony bumped into him at the Joshua fight.
Oh yeah,
screening. I don't think there's been any talk of a rematch. Yeah, he was very dismissive at the start. I suppose I get it. His fight's just defending his title, and he believes he's won. Listen, I believe I won. I think
but you understand why he was how he was.
I do and I don't. I mean, because if there is a dispute over the decision, then surely the natural thing is to want to right that wrong. He is the number one super middleweight in the division, and surely he wants to prove that.
Do you feel like perhaps because if you're to rank the super middleweights in this country by name, you would say that Callum Smith and Billy Joe are sort of, I don't know how to use the word, sort of higher than you, perhaps in sort of in terms of name and popularity, fan base, etc. Do you feel like that's perhaps worked against you in the fact that if Billy Joe and Callum had this close fight and Callum just edged it, the rematch would be inevitable, but because you're not as big of a name as perhaps Callum would like, that sort of worked against you?
Potentially, yeah. I mean, obviously they'd probably have it tied up in rematch clauses and whatnot, but where I was mandatory, there was none of that. But yeah, it's just a shame. Do you know what I mean? There's two fights now, the likes of the Billy Joe fight, even the Rocky Fielding fight. Do you know what I mean? I feel like I was harshly done by on the scorecards. The Canelo Smith scorecards were a joke. I believe I won that and won really well. So it's just, yeah, it's a weird situation, but like I say, we're all just waiting on one man to make a decision of who he's fighting, and everyone's just waiting for that to see who they fight next, and they're really dragging their heels now.
Just one more thing about last year. I spoke to Felix Cash about it. I mean, I know it didn't happen to him, but what's it like sort of in the gym environment when you have a couple of decisions that you dispute? Obviously, you up in Liverpool, Ted Cheeseman against Scott and against Kieran Conway. I mean, even Craig at the end of the year, we know he's going to get his British title shot, but most people felt he beat Chad Sugden. What's it sort of like in and around the gym? I can imagine it makes for sort of a tough environment at times.
Yeah, just, you know what, it's like you become really disillusioned with it. Like I felt Ted done enough there to beat Fitzgerald. I think he was easily won 6 of the first 7 rounds. Boxing like he'd never boxed before, really changed his game and really went out there and boxed brilliantly. And then a few close rounds, but I still believe Ted won that fight. He'd had a dodgy decision with Kieran Conway. Even Conway thought he'd lost the fight. I mean, like it was in Felix Cash's ear that you've got to go and stop this fella when you go up to Manchester, and pretty much in my ear as well that you can't really leave it to the judges. But then Spider's going to add that just before Christmas, the draw, and it's just like, you really just start thinking, what have you got to do in this sport?
Did it ever make you consider retiring from the sport? Because I know that with Ted at one point there was serious considerations of retiring from the sport. When it happened to you, is that something that even crossed your mind briefly, or did you think, there's definitely more in this for me?
No, you know what? There's definitely more in this for me. I've come this far in the sport, 10 years as a pro now, and it's like I'm at the top level now. This is world title.
Why give it up?
Why give up now? Do you know what I mean? I'm so close to something big, and believe me, I should have something big now. But I think 2020 is the year to put that right and to really collect the belts.
Right, like you said, Canelo's sort of making everyone wait. It's almost like the most powerful man in boxing at the moment. I mean, Eddie's a powerful man, but Canelo's got a hold on absolutely everyone. It's sort of Canelo's going to pick who he fights, when he fights them, and he's going to pick them when he wants. A strange situation, really. I mean, Billy Joe Saunders and Callum Smith, I say, were the two that people were expecting one of them to go in with Canelo. It'd be on the zone, and it sort of makes sense. Now there's news that he could fight Murata.
Yeah, real spanner works with Murata.
Weird. I mean, what would you want to see from a fan's perspective? What would you prefer? What do you think, sort of with the stars gelling out the potential 3 fights, Murata, Billy Joe or Callum Smith, what would you prefer, sort of with your fans' hat on?
Well, I think as a champion, he needs to fight either Callum Smith or Billy Joe to get a fully fledged super middleweight world title. I mean, he's got the WBA regular. A lot of people dispute that as a world title. I mean, I'd be more than happy to fight for that and win that. It's a world title in my eyes, but people don't say he's not really a world champion at super middleweight, so it makes sense to fight Canelo Smith for the Ring Magazine title, the WBA Super and the WBC Diamond, or Billy Joe for the WBO. I mean, stepping back down to fight Murata, unless he's taking care of a mandatory with the WBA, I don't really see the point. And other than that, I mean, what else are you going to do? Defend the WBA regular?
I know there were some discussions, or perhaps interviews, things come out in the media and press from Canelo's team, and your name was actually sort of in the mix.
Yeah.
Was that something you was expecting at the time? 'Cause I can imagine when you lost to Callum, you just thought, I'm going to have to sort of go back, rebuild and reach that sort of world title level again. But your name was straight in the mix. So obviously it says something about you, and I can imagine you're quite pleased with that.
Eddy Reynoso was tweeting while the fight was on and posting bits on social media. So, I mean, I think he even said it was a dodgy decision. So, kept my name in the hat, and yeah, lovely to be mentioned along like a name like Canelo. But I don't really see that I've got a shot of getting that fight. Like I say, Billy Joe or Canelo Smith should be the ones to get it. They're the big names in the super middleweight division, and they're the champions.
You're a Canelo fan, aren't you? Because I saw when I come in, you was wearing a Canelo top.
Yeah, don't tell him that though, because I'd gladly make him a rival.
If they're not to fight Canelo, either Billy Joe or Callum Smith, and they're to fight each other, where does that leave you? What can we expect from you this year? I can imagine you'd want to sort of jump back in, but not jump in at a low level, keep that high level that you've been fighting at, because you've had some really tough fights recently.
I've had a good fight with Callum. Pushed him all the way. I believe I won. I mean, I don't want to go back and have an 8-rounder or a 10-rounder tick over. I want to go straight back in at the level I've been operating at. I've had 4 or 5 fights now, well up there at world level, and I believe I just got to kick on and keep momentum going.
Obviously, you're a big name over here now, and you'd be a bigger name worldwide to sort of hardcore boxing fans as well. Is it something that you've spoken to Eddie about, even perhaps before Callum Smith fighting in the States, or because obviously Eddie's so well connected now that there's potential for you to fight across the pond?
Yeah, no, he did state that either the UK or America, and I boxed on the Canelo undercard last year, and that was a great experience. So yeah, I'd love to go and fight in the States again on a big show, and yeah, against a good name.
Dates. When can we expect to see you back? We've got sort of a taste of the schedule of what's about to come. There's a couple of O2 shows, a Manchester Arena big show we're hoping. April or May?
Yeah, I think April or May. We're February next week. I'm training now, keeping fit, ticking over, and I'm ready to really put the foot on the gas and get my head into a camp.
Good stuff. Right, I've got to ask you about Fury Wilder coming up soon. Probably the next major fight that's coming up. I've got to ask you straight off the bat, prediction. Well, not what you want, let's say prediction.
If he's been doing all the 7 things a day that he's been saying he has, I'm expecting a big overhand right, take Wilder's head off. But,
massive arm muscles coming over the overhand right.
Massive Popeye arm coming over the top, taking his head clean off. But I think another great fight. I think they're both going to be growing in confidence. Obviously, Wilder knows that he can really hurt Fury, and Fury knows that he can take Wilder's best shot, get up from it, and keep marching forward. So I think we're in for a real treat, and I think Fury will do it this time.
I can imagine you believe you won last time. Sort of the general consensus around the boxing community is that Fury won last time?
Yeah, I think pretty much the same. All he had to do in the last round was stay on his feet and not get knocked out. He didn't stay on his feet, but he didn't get knocked out. So, yeah, I believe he won it.
And from a fan's perspective, again, what would you prefer to see? Taking out the fact that Fury's British, and Joshua Fury for the Undisputed would be an all-British attire, sort of in style terms, would you prefer to see Joshua Wilder, sort of the battle of the punchers, or Joshua Fury with the intrigue of how that would play out?
No, Joe, I think for boxing and for British boxing, I mean, it looked a bit fragile at the time when AJ lost the titles to Ruiz, and it was like, will we see the big nights over here? But I think now he's won the titles back. Hopefully Fury can beat Wilder, and we can have a great British showdown at Wembley, and an all-British showdown again.
Just coming to my head, actually, you're talking about perhaps a return in April, May. Would that be you headlining a show, or would you be on the undercard? Because like I said, now your stock's risen, there's potential that you could sort of be the main attraction on the show. Yeah, I
don't really know, to be honest. It depends what kind of fight they have for me and what plans they've got. But I'd be open to headlining a show, and I'd be open to being chief support on a big show. So whatever comes.
2020 then. Just finally, what's the dream? What's the ideal scenario? Realistically, how many fights do you want to have? Perhaps 3-4 fights, and then end with a world title shot.
Probably 2-3 fights this year.
Yeah.
End the year on a high with a world title around my waist. Looking at maybe a unification for 2021, and just moving on to bigger and better things.
Who's the dream opponent on the canvas as you got the world title around your waist?
Well, Canelo probably.
Got to be, yeah.
Yeah, got to be Canelo, isn't it? The biggest name in the sport. Just to fight him would be an honour, but I'm not going to go in there just to take part. I want to win. So yeah, beat him for a world title would be the dream.
All right, John, thanks for giving me some of your time.
Thank you for having me.
Look forward to seeing you out again soon. And yeah, thank you for speaking to IFL TV. Cheers, mate.
Thank you.
Star Promotions is proud to present Floyd Money Mayweather. The man himself is coming to the UK for his UK tour, February and March 2020. For all info and tickets, Goldstar Promotions.co.uk.